Yo, 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 D-Row here. The whole lot of nothing. What's going on, everybody? I knew it's getting this up late. Didn't do it this morning. Just got off of work, so I'm going to do this really quick for my DFS must-play and value plays for the night. Much shorter docket than yesterday. Every team played yesterday, so there's a lot more players, a lot more options to go with. Tonight there's only 8 games. Not the worst, though. Still plenty of players to take tonight. Just a little review of how we did yesterday. Stephen Voigt, 4,500. Crushed it. Tanaka was good. Judge, even though he didn't hit a home run, 16 points. That's fine. It's basically a home run and an RBI. So, you take that, putting the points together like that. Stroman, Marcus Stroman at 6,900 yesterday. 26 points. Really good game. Real great game. Also 6,900, Eric Lauer. 6 innings, 3 Ks. He got the win and a shutout. Real nice game. For the price tag of pitcher yesterday, which with how many people, great guys there were, it's a good day. Some couple duds. Adam Frazier for Pittsburgh, 0 for 4 with a walk with 2 Ks, nothing great. Trout at 5,600. 1 for 3 with a walk. It's not worth the 5,600 price. Anthony Rizzo at 5,000. Got you about 10 points, 10, 12 points. Not bad. Cubs put up a ton of points yesterday. Not points, ton of runs, so would have expected a little bit more out of Rizzo, but he did walk 3 times, so it is what it is. Javi Baez for the Cubs, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. It's like a 30-something point performance, over 30 points. That's 4,900. I think he was, high 4s. Really good, really great. One of the better players yesterday. He killed it. Some of the aces that were going yesterday that, were expensive, but obviously didn't disappoint. Justin Verlander, Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer all had ridiculous days. I think deGrom and Scherzer both struck out at least 10. Verlander, great game. Those 3 guys absolutely killed it. But some of the value plays, Stroman and Lauer, great days as well. The night game last night, Red Sox against the Seattle Mariners. Sale got absolutely smoked. I don't know. He just didn't look like he usually does. Flat ball, just putting it right over the plate. It was almost like he was, pitching batting practice. Everyone was hitting the ball hard off him. I mean, fucking Tim Beckham, guys bounced around the league a couple times with the Rays, with the Orioles. He had 2 homers, which, he's usually like 3,300, 3,400, like dirt cheap, and he had a huge day yesterday. Same as, the Dodgers, who hit 8 home runs yesterday. Jock Peterson had 2, Seager, Barnes, Bellinger, and Muncy each had 1. Kike Hernandez had 2 home runs. Greinke was a complete mess. Only lasted 3 2/3. 7 runs, 7 hits, 7 earned. His velocity looked down. He's putting the ball right over the plate. These guys, literally something along with Sale. It looked like he was throwing batting practice out there. We'll see what he does. I know Greinke's been notorious for starting slow out of the gate, but I don't know. Yesterday's performance was looked worse than than he has over the last couple of years. So maybe it's just a one-time thing. We'll see what happens with his next start. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on him definitely. All right, so moving into today, 8-game slate, like I said before. I'm going to run through these guys really quick. So I'll get this out for you guys to listen to compare to your lineups, see if there's anything that you like. Pitchers right away. German Marquez for Colorado, 9,200 price tag. Playing Miami is a must-start for me. He had a rough spring, but I don't worry about the spring at all when the regular season comes along. He's a number 2 out there. I have a lot of confidence in him. Marquez, a lot of strikeouts. You know, his big strikeout pitcher. That's one thing you can definitely looking for in DFS. Miami's lineup not very impressive. Yeah, I think Marquez has a good game. Over 20 for sure. Colorado's going to win the game, so I think he's going to make light work of Miami. Another big price guy, Garrett Cole, taking on Tampa Bay. And we saw what Verlander did yesterday. Cole's price tag, $11,200, right around where Verlander was yesterday. Cole, you know, this spring actually killed it. Held opponents to a 179 batting average. The Rays' current roster, the guys that have faced him in the past, batting about 269, which isn't terrible. I mean, it's, you know, it's not very good, but you know, it's limited at bats against him. They didn't see him a whole lot. You know, he's in the National League for a while, or for most of his time when he was with Pittsburgh. You know, I just think Cole's gonna have a very similar performance to what Verlander did yesterday. So, I mean, if you could afford him, definitely take him. He's gonna have a huge game. Now we got two value plays. I mean, those are my must. Two value plays, really quick. Matthew Boyd for Detroit against Toronto, 6,600. Last year, Boyd was their most consistent starter and put out the most quality starts. He struggled on the road. He's not a big strikeout guy, but you know they'll leave him in there. He's gonna get at least to the sixth inning. Just gotta hope he doesn't let up too much, and hope you know you're projecting anywhere if they can get the win, because I mean Toronto's offense is absolutely abysmal. I mean they were getting no-hitted by Jordan Zimmerman yesterday. Jordan Zimmerman, excuse me. And I mean Zimmerman is a fine pitcher, but I mean he is nothing compared to what he was 3-4 years ago. So I think that really says a lot. I think Boyd can go out there and have a pretty nice day, get you anywhere from because some of the hitters tonight are pretty expensive as well. So he can get you anywhere, I think, from 15 to 18 win points, which for 6,600 isn't bad. You could take that if you go out and you spend the 5,700 price tag on Mike Trout, who hits two home runs, and he'll make up the extra points. Moving on, last pitching pick, the lower end, 7,900. Joey Lucchesi from San Diego against San Francisco. Like yesterday, I had Lauer in there against San Francisco. I just really don't like the roster of San Francisco at all. There's really there's nothing to like about their roster. I mean, there's no one there that really threatens you. On San Francisco, you have like Evan Longoria is way over the hill. Brandon Belt been garbage. Crawford garbage. Joe Panic contact guy. He ain't gonna do much. Lucchesi didn't have that bad of a year last year. He had 145 Ks and 130 innings pitched last season. You like that. I like that a lot. It means it gets a bunch of strikeouts, or at least a strikeout an inning, which he goes 6 innings, gets 6 Ks. I'll take that all day. I think Lucchesi can have a sneaky good night, over 20 points. I think San Diego's going to run him out of the water tonight. I think Greg Holland's their starter. I'm going to get into all that stuff when I start going through the offensive players. I really don't like him at all. So, San Diego, I think they're going to, Lucchesi's going to have a nice day. He's going to go about, at least 6, possibly 7, depends on the pitch count, depends on what the score is, because they could easily just, pull him out in the 6th and go right to the bullpen, save his arm a little bit, especially early on in the year. Okay, pitchers are done. Jumping into first base. Right at the bat, Paul Goldschmidt against Milwaukee tonight, 4,900 price tag. Freddie Peralta is Milwaukee's pitcher. Not high on Peralta at all. I think he's only really in the rotation because Chase Anderson went to the DL, so they needed an extra guy. Just so happens they're starting him tonight. The Cardinal lineup's pretty deep. They got a lot of guys that can really hit. So I think Peralta is going to get hit early and often, and I think guys like Goldschmidt, he's really going to tee off on him. I think he gets at least a home run tonight for sure. 4,900. It's definitely worth the price. I think he's going to have a monster game. Colton Wong had 2 home runs yesterday. Paul DeJong, another guy you could look at that could possibly have a nice day. But yeah, Goldschmidt, he's really going to lean to the crusher tonight. Eric Hosmer, 4,300, going against Greg Holland. Only thing Holland has going for him here is that Hosmer struggled against lefties last year. He did have 27 at-bats against him last year. Also, though, he had 2 doubles, a home run, 4 ribbies, batted .333 against him. So where he struggled against lefties, he really didn't struggle at all against Holland. First base, with guys like Harper tonight that are super expensive. Some of the pitchers, 4,300 is pretty. It's a nice tag. I'm gonna play Hosmer tonight. I'm gonna have some play on him. Just because the head-to-head matchup against Holland is, .333 with those numbers. I'm gonna take that all day. And I didn't take a lot. It wasn't a whole lot of first base today. It was pretty poor in my opinion for DFS. So I'm giving you a really cheap option. I think is going to be huge tonight. Justin Bour for the Angels at 3,600 going up against Oakland and Marco Estrada. Estrada is kind of like a shell of what he used to be, and he was only like a decent, middle of the road pitcher. But he's a perfect guy for Oakland. Someone that's a little over the hill, but they can get on the cheap. He's an innings eater, and I just don't think very much of him, to be completely honest. So I think Bour, who absolutely, he crushes right-handed pitching. He's terrible against lefties. So anytime there's a right-hander in there, look to get him in your lineup because he can really, really destroy the ball. I feel like he's definitely. I think he's gonna homer tonight. I really do. I feel really confident about that. 3,600. If he does homer, RBI and a run, if it's just a solo homer, especially at first base for that price tag, that's a win right there. You can't ask for much more than that. Okay, moving on to catcher. I almost didn't even put any plays up because it's so piss poor. Catching is the offensive numbers have just basically gone out the window. I don't know what it is, but none of these guys across the league at the catcher position really hit. There's 5 guys, and one of them's playing tonight, but I don't even feel like he's like a must play. I don't know. I'm gonna have him on the list. Buster Posey at 4,000. I'm not gonna pay this price. I think Lucchesi's gonna have a nice game tonight. If anyone's gonna hit in that lineup, I guess it'll be Posey. But he's consistent as it gets. But I'm not wasting the money. But if there's one guy to own in the Giants, it's Buster Posey. So that's it for that. Moving on. 3,600 Austin Hedges for San Diego going up against San Francisco. Holland he's not a big power guy, not a big power pitcher. I think Hedges struggles a bit with that. Hedges is really hit or miss offensively, like all these fucking catchers are. But for 3,600, you're not paying for top dollar. 5-6 points out of him. Maybe a walk and a hit, something along those lines. Walk and a run. 4 to 5, 4 to 6 points. That's it. That's all you should really expect. And even cheaper, real flyer, Tony Walters on Colorado versus Trevor Richards from Miami. He's 3,300. He's absolutely abysmal at the plate, like he really is. But Richards is, he's not bad. He's not. There's a lot worse pitchers on Miami. I don't think Richards is very good, but just looking at some of the other catchers tonight, this could be a decent matchup. Walters especially because of the lineup he plays in. The Rockies are so damn deep that if they get to Richards early, they're going to go, they'll go to the pen. They'll go to the pen early, and that's where you're looking for the possible offensive value out of them. So, that's it. Catcher, honestly, I usually would take the cheapest guy that's, starting, but, and just build around other positions and strengthen up there, because honestly, there's no one that's, like on a night like tonight where, there's no Sanchez, there's no Cervelli, there's no Real Muto, the big-time offensive hitters, so I'll always choose cheaper catcher over some of these other positions. But that's already too much time on catcher. Moving on. Go to third base. Okay, here we go. Another position where there's a couple expensive guys, but must plays tonight. Like I was just talking about, Richards with Walters. Arenado must start tonight. I think Richards is going to get rocked by this lineup. For $5,000 for Arenado, he's going to pay. He's going to pay for it. I think he's going to have a huge night, like 16 to 20 points. I think he homers. He's going to get on base at least 3 times, 3 or 4 RBIs. So well worth the price tag. Manny Machado at $4,900, another must play for me. I know he's been off to a pretty slow start, but Holland being there's nothing I like about Holland, and he doesn't throw with power, or is not a big strikeout guy. I think Machado's going to go deep. I think he's going to have a big day. 2 for 4, 3 for 4, bunch of RBIs. Like he's going to be worth the price tag at $4,900. Like that play a lot. 2 value plays. Ryan Healy for Seattle against Nady Eovaldi tonight of Boston at $3,800. Off to a nice start so far. Seattle's played 3 games already. They had the little series over in Japan. While in Japan, he had 3 extra base hits. And he went 1 for 4 yesterday. He's going to be in the lineup until Seager gets back. So he's going to get regular playing time. He's hitting pretty well right now. At $3,800, might as well keep playing him because if you look at Eovaldi's track record, the numbers he put up with Boston last year, and that was within rest in between starts. He was starting like every 6th day. That's the outlier. That's not the norm. He got paid this summer. I don't think he's going to repeat. I mean, with the Yankees, and then with the Rays, like last year was an anomaly year. I mean, he's done it before, but I'm going to look more towards what he did with the Yankees. And, he's got great velocity. He can throw heat. Like he really can. But it's a straight ball. And if his accuracy is not 100%, he will get rocked. And I think after Seattle's outburst last night, I think, they're due to stay hot. Another value play, $3,600, Eduardo Nunez for Boston, going up against Seattle, and Kikuchi's pitching. Nunez is going to be seen a lot of time against lefties. He hits them way better than righties. Brock Holt will be, playing against righties most of the time until Pedroia gets back. Kikuchi he pitched pretty well over in Japan. I know the game at the end was like ridiculously high scoring, but I don't think Kikuchi was in at that point. But I think this Red Sox lineup wakes up tonight. I think tonight's game, between Red Sox and Seattle is going to be really high scoring. 9-7, something along those lines. I could easily see it. It's like a repeat of last night, just much closer. And I see Nunez, getting you 7 to 10 points tonight, because I think he's have a lot of opportunity. And I think, a couple guys start getting on. I don't think Kikuchi has. I don't know how much pressure he's really felt. And this lineup, if they're on, I mean, they're really good to torture him. So, just Eduardo Nunez, $3,600, not a bad play. All right, second base. No one really expensive I was looking at tonight in second base. I'm using for a bit of value. D. Gordon, $3,700 versus Boston tonight. Low price tag. You're begging for a steal, and stealing a hit, stealing a run for $3,700. That's enough. That'll get you. That'll be fine. Enough value to start him. $3,600. Colton Wong going up as the Brewers and Freddie Peralta. He homered twice yesterday. Peralta, I'm not high on Peralta at all. I think he's going to get rocked tonight, like I was talking about with Paul Goldschmidt. I don't expect Wong to homer tonight. 2 homers in one game. I don't think he's going to do it, a second night. At least, I don't think he's getting one, at all. But for $3,600 at the second base position, anywhere from 5 to 8 points. Obviously more, depending on how long Peralta's is in the game, if they go to the pen early, how many at-bats you get, that all factors in. But, 5 to 8, 5 to 10, I feel 3,600, I'm okay with that. I'm paying up at other positions, so take what you can get. Last for second base, 3,800. Jurickson Profar against the Angels. I absolutely despise Matt Harvey. I think he's complete trash. Throws a flat ball right over the plate. Velocity's down over the last couple of years. He hasn't been good in about 4 seasons. And that was, with the Mets. That was probably the World Series run. Like, he had a really good year. And then before he had, Tommy John, everything, he was great. But, maybe the change of scenery helps him. I really don't think it's going to, though. He's just looking for the payday, and that's it with Harvey. I don't like him as a pitcher at all. I think the A's are, they're hitting well so far to start the year. 2 games in Japan, and then they put up some runs yesterday too. So I think the A's are going to pound Harvey. I really do. I really think they are, and I think Profar is going to be right in the mix there, and he'll have a good opportunity tonight to get about 7 to 10 points. Yeah, God, I fucking hate Matt Harvey so much. The guy's terrible. But so that's my second base breakdown. Cheap tonight. Cheap for second base. Don't overthink it. Don't overplay it. Just cheap price, and you'll still get plenty of value. Okay, moving on to shortstop. Three plays here. 4,300. Xander Bogaerts versus Seattle. He's 1 for 4 yesterday. The double. I like where he's batting in the order. Between J.D. Martinez, Mitch Moreland. Between the two of them, you should see some great pitches. Like I said, I think Boston's going to have a good night tonight. So, should have a ton of at-bats, a ton of opportunities with men on. So, 4,300, I'm fine with that price tag for Bogaerts. I'm going to have him in my lineup for sure. Moving on, Tim Beckham, another guy that's red hot. 3,500 tonight. Like last night, he homered twice. He couldn't have been more than 3,500, 3,300. It might have even been less because of what they're probably projecting Sale to have. He's got 3 home runs in the first 3 games. 2 yesterday, 1 over in Japan. If you look over his career, he doesn't stay this hot. He's streaky as hell. So, 3,500, ride him while you can. I think he's got a good matchup tonight against Evaldi. We saw him a good, a couple times last year. With him, Beckham being hot, 3,500. Take a shot at him. I think he's going to stay hot for, a couple more games at least, probably through the weekend. So if you want to take a flyer on him, go for it. He pays off when he's hot. Like if he does well tonight, 3,500, he's at over. He'll point out higher than what his price tag is. So, and one big play, 4,900, Trevor Story against Miami. I'm stacking Marlins tonight. Not Marlins. I'm stacking Rockies tonight. I don't like Richards tonight at all. Not against his Rocky lineup. I really don't. There's not much more to say about that. Story is, right in that lineup with all those guys. Blackman, Arenado, any of these guys, man. The Rockies lineup is just, it's absolutely scary. And, I think they're going to really, really run up the score tonight. But that's my shortstop plays. Moving on, last position, got the outfield. 4 picks real quick. Mike Trout, 5,700 against Marco Estrada. I think, like I said about Bohr, I think Bohr's going yard. I think Trout's going yard. I think Trout's going to have, at least a 20-pointer tonight. At the very least, I think he's have a really big game. He'll meet the price tag. If you take something like a cheap guy, some of the cheap options I was saying before, second and short, definitely cheap at catcher, value pitcher, because tonight's not a great. besides some of the very top guys, the pitching is woeful. So, take a flyer on someone like a Matthew Boyd or Lou Chesky, someone along those lines. I think they're gonna do something for you. But Trout, just like yesterday, I know he didn't do much yesterday. Was it 1 for 3? I think he was. But he's going to definitely come out tonight and have a complete turnaround performance. Charlie Blackmon, like I was talking before, I'm playing as many Rockies as I can. As leadoff hitters that have at least 5 to 6 at bats tonight, depending on what the score is. I think honestly for Blackmon and the Rockies, 4,800. I think he should be over 5. I think he should be about 5,200, 5,300. So 4,800. If I can get Blackmon at that, I'm going to take him every time. 3,600. Nico Goodrum on Detroit. He's also got first base eligibility, but I'm going to take him cheap in the outfield. Matt Schumacher, been around for a while. He's an okay pitcher. At this point, he's middle of the road to, he's average at this point. It doesn't have, his stuff isn't, that great anymore. He's Goodrum is batting 5th tonight. He was 1 for 3 at the double yesterday, against, Marcus Stroman, who is, compared to Schumacher, it's not even close. And Stroman was on yesterday too. So the fact that at least there was someone on Detroit hitting, I feel like bodes very well tonight against Schumacher. And Goodrum was extremely hot during the spring. I fully expect it to continue, and I think he's going to have a big night tonight. And 3,600 in the outfield, where tonight there's some good plays. Even for the expensive plays, there's some good plays. But I always try to hunt some value, especially if you get depending on the comp you're going to be doing. It's good to have some guys out there that are on the lower percentage side, and I don't expect too many people to be playing Nico Goodrum tonight. And last but not least, Adam Jones, 3,400 versus Ross Stripling and Dodgers. 3,400 for Adam Jones. I know last year he was pretty dreadful, and I don't know what expectations are. I know he's getting regular playing time now because of the Souza Jr. injury. And I know he's like a late signing in spring training. But, that price tag's way too low for a guy like Adam Jones. The guy shown yesterday he could still hit the long ball with ease. It didn't look like he was even trying yesterday when he hit that thing. Obviously Stripling's only starting tonight. He's more of a back of the rotation type of guy, because Kershaw and Buehler are down. Stripling's pretty mediocre at best, at the very best. I think Jones is going to have another big night. I don't know if he's going to hit a home run or anything, but 3,400 for an outfielder with his ability, even though he is at the latter end of his career, I'm going to take a flyer on him. I think, especially if you want to pay up for some of these other guys at other positions or get the really expensive pitchers. If you want to take like a Garrett Cole and a German Marquez, both, taking a guy like Adam Jones would help you afford those guys. So, he's definitely a flyer of a pick. Who knows what he's going to do, but, I'm going to have a little more respect for an Adam Jones. I'm going to definitely have a couple shares of him. I think he's going to have a decent game. Probably nothing too special, too spectacular, but I think he's going to definitely outplay that 3,400 price tag. But that's it, everybody. That wraps it up. Hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you, look over your lineup, see if, any of my picks can help your team out. And good luck to everybody tonight. I'm out. Yo, D-Row here. The whole lot of nothing. What's going on, everybody? I know it's getting this up late. Didn't do it this morning. Just got off work, so I'm going to do this really quick for my DFS must-play and value plays.